As we continue our tour of Florida for Sim500 to start of the 2024 NC811.org Xfinity Series season, we hit Homestead-Miami Speedway, the second race of the tour on this mile and a half. Kind of worn down, if you will, multi-banked track, progressive banking, and we are in line for what is going to be another night of great racing here in Sim500. A huge crowd of drivers ready to go and ready to rock for 180 miles of racing, 120 laps here tonight at the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway. I'm the captain. We welcome you in on this Sunday evening as we get ready to qualify here in about 7 minutes or so. Of course, this is the 811.org Xfinity Series. And Homestead, this track built in 1995. It is on the site of an old mill that stood until Hurricane Andrew unfortunately wiped out the whole town and city area in 1992. And they built Homestead-Miami Speedway, which began as a rectangular track when it opened. It was a small version of Indianapolis, basically, a mile and a half track, but a couple of very bad wrecks, and including a couple of unfortunate deaths at the track, had Homestead changed to a flat mile and a half oval. Then in 2002, they decided, you know what, let's throw some banking on this thing, and basically repaved the track, redid everything to, instead of having, I think it was like 6 degrees of banking in the corners, they put it to 18, 19, and 20. They made progressive banking. It was one of the first tracks to have the progressive banking feature put on it, if not the first. I have to think about that one for a second. But this track has been a favorite of drivers for a very long time. And tonight I think is going to put on a great show when it's all said and done as we hit the second race of the season. Let's talk about Mike Kelley. Mike, of course, if you saw the montage there at the beginning, went to victory lane in what was a wild finish. One of the biggest wrecks, not only in Captain Esports broadcasting history, but in Sim500 history. I've been told it's not the biggest. Apparently there was a wreck back in the day with Parker Kligerman in a super speedway race that pretty much wiped the field out. This one all but wiped the field out. A couple cars getting back to the checkered flag, and it was Mike Kelley who went to victory lane in that 80-lap race for a second straight year, going to victory lane in that race. And one of the crazier things about this race was the fact that 2 years ago, when Mike Kelley went to victory lane there, he led 1 lap. And then last Sunday night, he led 2 laps. So it's like, can you lead 3 laps next week? Also to mention, or next year, I should say, the Turn 1 Heroes team has now won both super speedway races in the Trans Service Truck Series Wednesday Night League, and then, of course, now the Sunday League. Now, we're still about 3 weeks away from the Daytona 500K, which is the big race here for Sim500, but it's You almost wonder if they find a way to get Nelson Rivera, or I'm sorry, I keep saying Nelson's a part of their team. I'm sorry, Scott Simley, or one of their other guys, or it could be Mike Kelley again, who go to victory lane for a for the sweep of Daytona in their season. I mean, you got Robert Fryery could be another one that you could look at as potentially as a winner there at Daytona as part of that team. But obviously, you got to get to Daytona and survive that race when it all gets here and all said and done. Let's talk about Mike, though, here for a second, because the information that we have decided to share with you today is about Mike Kelley. Mike Kelley, our featured driver, who actually went to broadcasting school just like I did. He's a major in broadcasting in college. Got to ride in a pace car at Daytona before the start of one of the Twin 125 races. He didn't tell me what year that was, but able to do that. He's a 5-time IKF Speedway karting Grand National champion. So obviously he knows how to get it done on the karts. God, heaven forbid they bring the karts into iRacing. I think it'd be kind of cool to see those karts, or what I know we got the Spec Racer might be the closest thing to it. But also his family ran a NASCAR sanctioned dirt track in Nebraska for 25 years also. That's some interesting facts there about Michael Kelley. Now, last week we brought Mike up to the booth and it all worked out for him, so we'll have him strike twice. Let's get Mike and bring him up here to the booth in this race, as he had a lot to celebrate last week as Mike joins us. Mike, obviously, the first question I have, you went to broadcasting school, which is a really cool thing. You got something in common with me. I just hope that you didn't go to, like, some art institute or something that only had, like, 2 graduating broadcasters a season. Mike might have walked away for a second. See, that's a great timing of me doing interviews. Mike might have went to the bathroom or getting himself ready to go here in a moment. So we'll actually come back to Mike here. I think that happened last week too, did it not? But of course, I put him back. He'll probably like show up all of a sudden. Let's get another driver up here to join us. He's at driver intros. Yeah, good call. I got to come up with that one. That's a good one. Let's see. Yeah, let's talk to this guy. Okay, here we go. Bob Gillenwater, you got a copy, buddy?
Hey, come on in here, Chris.
Hey, buddy. What's up, man? You get back into a rhythm racing here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. I know you've had a little bit of a struggle, but I look over here at the timing and scoring and looking for you. You're fourth, so you're on the left side of the board, which is always good. So is that a one-lap type of car? You feel like you got a good long-run car? How are we feeling today?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about the long run. It's going to be about, definitely for me, taking care of the rear. The last season at the end, I had a pretty good run here. I think long run, we went caution free. I think ended up third, if I'm not mistaken. So hoping to repeat, maybe hang on to some of those top guys tonight if we can.
You mentioned the key words there, caution free. That is something we did last year, and we do it numerous times. And what is it about a track like this? It's a worn out surface. You have to drive the car, especially with the weather set up the way it is with track temp and stuff like that. What is it that allows this kind of racing to open up to, very low caution numbers, if not caution free?
Honestly, I think it's just a testament to the group of guys that we've got in here. It really seems like we just seem to do better when it's treacherous and you really got to drive the car. And I mean, and that's just how good the guys are here. So I look for that to happen tonight also.
Absolutely, man. Well, you're getting ready to go qualify, so go do that, and we'll let you go, and appreciate your time, buddy.
Yeah, appreciate it. Hope everybody enjoys the broadcast.
All right, buddy. Bob Gillenwater, one of the nicest guys you could talk to every week there, as he is with that Sim500 Mafia team as qualifying begins. And, of course, qualifying presented by 811. Know what's below. Call before you dig as we jump on track. Let's one of the cars that we didn't get to talk about much last week that put on a show at Daytona was that 88 car of Mac McMillan. He was up front most of the night, and if I remember correctly, he got kind of caught up with some pit stops or something that pushed him back strategy-wise, and ultimately was one of the lots of people that were involved in that last lap wreck. I want to make sure that he got the credit he deserves. As the cars will cross the line here in a minute, when they do so, you'll see their time start popping up here on the top side of the screen. But you see, painting that white line, I am getting the trend that is the way to go again this season, even though we do have the refresh with the weather being as hot as it is. Of course, the default weather is what is in the sim, but the track itself getting up over 120 to 130 degrees. I say that as McMillan goes topside now. They're trying to get the run off the corner. He might be just throwing this lap away. Dalton with a 79 getting to the pole. There's Connors, a 54. Great lap for Josh. Here's our Daytona winner, Mike Kelley, down the back straightaway. Ooh, almost getting that outside wall. Very easy to do. As Dalton 34.46 to the top. As Kelley goes P5, Ferrari with a 53, a 62. Connor's actually slower on his second lap. Schweikert up 34.5. Good lap for him. McMillan to the top at a 45. Yo. Big Mac not playing around. This might be the happiest man in all of the world right now, or one of them. Let's get you some car sounds, by the way. As Calantoni brings it to the line, he slots in P8 with a 34.56. Braxton DeWeese, good lap, 34.53. So once again, you're seeing those times just falling on top of another. It's what they do. Schweikert, by the way, jumped up there by 3/1000ths of a second. A 45 with a 6 to a 45 with a 9. Get you the pole here at Homestead. Let's see if anybody can top it. I think Kevin Brown's out there still. You got Stephen Miles. A couple of guys here. Heck, Joe Hudson might have something for him the way he ran at Daytona last week. Seeing some improvement out of some of these guys already after just one race. Yeah, Daytona can be kind of misleading. Miles, P19, 34.68. Got about 7 cars that have not qualified. Kevin Brown, 34.49. P4. Good lap for him. Miles goes to 18th. Hudson, 29th. Thanks. Not a good lap there. I'm sure he's not going to be happy about that. Everybody else looks like they've ran their qualifying laps. I don't see anyone else going back on track. And we got 30 seconds to go, so safe to say that Schweikert's going to win the pole. Of course, the pole award, as mentioned, presented by 811. No, it's below. Call before you dig. So congratulations to him on the pole. We're going to step away and hear our national anthem as we get ready to race here at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right. Cars are starting to grid after their 1-minute warm-up. And let's take a look at the starting lineup for the second race of the season here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. John Schweikert, the Ohio driver, 34.45. Literally 3/1000ths of a second quicker than Mac McMillan. They will start there on the front row. Row number 2, Tyler Dalton, the Daytona runner-up starter, I should say. I was about to say pole sitter, but that was Tommy Ryan. And Kevin Brown, who's always pretty fast at a track like this. Nelson Rivera, that 22 car. Robert Fryery, the third, there to 77. Braxton DeWeese and his fan club going to start in the 7th position. Josh Connors looked pretty quick there in qualifying and in practice. CSP 8, Robert, a.k.a. Bob Gillenwater, starting 9th alongside Anthony Calantoni. Jose Gonzalez, Glenn Campbell, starting there in the 6th row. 7th row, Wesley Donaldson, Eric Arnold, Chad Coleman, Tommy Ryan there in the 16th position. Chad just had a big update or something he was working on. I was talking to him before the race. He was kind of getting aggravated. Trevor Hunt, Stephen Miles, row number 9, row 10. Jason Karlovage and Brent Scott. Terry Lambert, Mike Kelley, Daytona winner there, row 11. Row 12, Mike Montesi and Scott Simley. Matthew Martell and Andrew Teft. Jeff Ryan will start there on the inside of row 14. Alongside E.J. O'Rourke, Joey Jatina, Joe Hudson, Charles Van Schaik, Alan Wild, Josh Parker, Kevin Stone, Randy Yoakum, Ron Holyfield, Gerald Livingston, and Doug Sigmund going to be the starters tonight at Homestead as we go 120 laps in 180 miles of racing here at Homestead. iRacing default weather, green flag out, and cars going everywhere already. Our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. McMillan getting a good jump there on that one car as already moved himself to the front. And you're going to see cars painting this white line for a little bit here. I think maybe later in the race. Well, I say that, and half the field's already up to the middle and top grooves. Going where they ain't here, apparently, to get started. And already Schweikert moving to the middle. That LaRue number 1 car. Got Kevin Brown giving that push down the back straightaway. Can he get him cleared? It's the $1 million question here. Appreciate the viewers watching here tonight. Let me throw some shout outs real quickly out there. See the Luis fan club, as I mentioned, those guys watching tonight. BM Hilton Sim Racing asked, is this league recruiting at all? And yes, it does, and it does have a Discord. Yes, they are recruiting. I'm not sure if this registrations are closed necessarily for this league when it comes to Xfinity, but the Cup Series is coming and so on and so forth. Your best advice, go to Sim500.com. Sim500.com is their website. And you can see their professionally done website. As these two cannot figure out who wants to lead. McMillan and Schweikert just been side by side. website, just write it down right now. Don't go there until after the race because it affects my viewership then. Just saying. It's okay to be a little selfish, right? These guys cannot decide. Meanwhile, back there, you got Rivera side by side with the 56. Kevin Brown's back there, man. Y'all figure something out, please. It's kind of interesting when Homestead first came out on the sim, the groove that Schweikert is running was the way to get around here. You had to run right above that black seam around the track, and of course that was before the whole the tire changes. I mean, this is over 10 years ago, and it's been on here for 8 or 9 now or something like that. But you had to run right about where that one car is, and you could not go anywhere else. You went to the bottom, you went to the top, it just didn't work. And Schweikert's finally, I think, going to clear him here off of 2. Maybe. He did clear him. To move the one car up. Scroll through. 22 and 56 stacked here. Connors and Rivera still side by side. Get some of these cars to get up there and paint that wall a little bit with that camera. It's going to be awesome. Almost 30 viewers watching tonight. Good field of viewers. Feel free, chat it up. I don't mind chatting with viewers. It's, as you see, it's a one-man show, and I don't mind letting you guys be a part of the show. I know that's something that viewers want to see. If there's something that catches your eye or whatever that I don't see, yell it out. Well, don't yell it because I won't hear you. Text it out to me or whatever. Send a message and we'll get there. You see the 33 a little bit blinky there. On the bottom side of Harry Gant looking paint. Oh, 3 wide for the front. Kevin said I had enough of you two. Tyler Dalton want to be a part of this. Well, these guys picking up right where they left off at Daytona. And Robert Fryery a part of this. The draft is playing a huge role right now. 26 car down at the bottom. Different paint scheme for Speedy Gonzalez. Braxton Deweese right there behind him in the 7th position. That 5 car kind of has a South Point Casino look to it. And then Gillenwater, and there's the 56 of Connors. 9 laps in. And you see Schweikert now starting to run the boards a little bit here. It's just the way they roll around this track. Yeah, let the car just kind of roll. It's not one of those you can just get back to the throttle and stomp on it around the corners. You got to almost park the car in the corner and then just roll back to it like there's an egg underneath that throttle as McMillan back to the front. You know, who has saved their tires here so far? See that high line coming into play there. Sees Schweikert able to clear Kevin Brown. All right, 30 viewers. That's awesome. can just see the guys down below just trying to find their way. I mean, it's so hard to do because that bottom is less banked than the top. The top is at 20 degrees. The bottom is at 18 degrees. So when you think about the higher the banking, the better the view, or the better the run you can get through the corner. It's been so tight. It's like I'm kind of scared to go away from it. I don't mind showing other battles on the track, but it's like these guys are battling for the lead. As Gonzalez and Fryer, there's that Smashburger 26. You see Connor's kind of sliding up the track. Not much grip in this thing. Ooh, almost some contact. I think the 1 in 93 almost got together up there. So McMillan with the biggest lead anybody's had the whole race, all of like a half a second maybe. There's DeWeese sliding into the picture in that 5. You look at everybody just entering the corner different, or the way they roll through the corner, just so different. You got to treat, depending on what lane you're in, you got to run it different. I mean, that's probably the biggest word here is the difference, the variety, if you will, of the grooves you get here at Homestead. You get down here, you paint the car on the bottom, but as the tires wear, it's like the track moves up. That is something, again, this new oval refresh. That has made things interesting. All right. I never thought I would put, well, I don't know if this could be a good idea or not, but Mike Kelley back here in the 17th position. He's got Higman behind him. I'm sorry, I'm used to that being John Higman. It's not John Higman anymore. It's Jason Karlovage. I'm still trying to get that name right. Wesley Donaldson in front of him. Chad Coleman. And Glenn Campbell. This is the thing about fixed setups. You got to, for those who have never watched iRacing before, you have different kinds of setups, and they have races that are open setup races, which are you bring your own setup for the car and you race what you got. Then you've got fixed setups, and those are setups that iRacing pre-creates basically for each track. And when you set up the schedule, you basically select that setup, and it goes into everybody's cars. And you can only touch like 2 or 3 things, and those 2 or 3 things are brake bias, steering ratio, and offset of the wheel. So basically, how your wheel sets on the car. You can have it either tilted a little bit or straight up or whatever. The only 3 things you can adjust in the setup. Otherwise, you got what you got. And that's what this setup is. Easy, Mike. Is a fixed setup, so everybody is equal. It's just a matter of who can drive the car better, who can take care of it better, and that kind of thing. And that's what allows these cars to kind of stick close together. Is when you get a league like this with so many talented drivers that the competition runs close to each other. Look back here. Here's a smorgasbord. 31 of Eric Arnold, 84 of Calantoni, stuck in the middle with you. Yeah, I agree with that, Stoney. I unfortunately just didn't have enough knowledge of what this rebuild had done with Homestead, so I wasn't sure if it was literally going to be paint the bottom like you see Coleman and Arnold and Ryan do, because that's what Mojica did last year in winning this race. You know, tires going to be a factor. Eric Arnold, Mr. Aggressive, got in there a little deep and made contact with Tommy Ryan. Car didn't turn in, and he got Ryan right in the door. Nice save on his part. I think better of that, unfortunately, before doing that again. We'll see a lot of contact with Coleman now. See the looseness. Look at that right side. That tire just turning back. Sometimes you got to slide her through the corner a little bit. You can see that wheel. That'll tell you everything you need to know about the setup in this car. Looks like tight center. A little free on entry there. And look at it, fight it back. a little free off, I'd say. Up front, Tyler Dalton making a move. Inside Schweikert, who's starting to fall back a little bit. As Kevin Brown almost had to go find his drink. He almost spilled. Braxton DeWeese having a good run. 5th position for him. Being patient in that 5 car. Now, as I mentioned, this race does have a tendency. Last season went caution-free to go with long green flag runs here. So with 120 laps, you got to bring up the $1 million question here. Do you have enough fuel to make it one stint? If so, you make it a one-stop race. If you do not have enough fuel to get to lap 60, it's become a 2-stop race with the tires the way they are. So there's a lot of elements here that are going to come into play in this race. Is back there, Gonzalez and Tommy Ryan almost coming together for 9th. One thing you will notice is Pedro Mojica is actually not here tonight. He took tonight's race off. Mojica did win this race last season. And I say caution-free. Last season actually did have the 1 caution. I misspoke there. 1 caution for 4 laps in the race in 2023. And then this race actually, there's another car heading for the bottom there. Was the second to last race the season before, and it had 1 caution for 4 laps. So it's the second year now. This race has been the second race of the season. And as you see on average, there's not many cautions. But lots of close racing. As Tommy Ryan looks like going to make another pass there on the 22. So Ryan's starting to pick up some spots in that Northern Tool car. So back here as Gonzalez, I think he might be trying to save some fuel a little bit, maybe to make it a one-stopper, because he has kind of free-falled a little bit there. He's got Wesley Donaldson to his inside there. Also got 38 of Chad Coleman there also. All right, we're going to step away for a quick second, hear from our sponsors, 811. We appreciate everybody watching here as you're watching Sim500 on the Captain Esports Network.
This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811.
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
All right, back we are, Homestead-Miami Speedway, virtually on iRacing, 28 laps in the books. And it's been McMillan and Schweikert leading the laps. McMillan is pulled away as you see what the beautifulness. I just made up that word. I don't know if beautifulness is a proper English word, but I went to school in Florida. That's my excuse, and I'm going with it. Oh, trouble back straightaway. 2 cars, and no, 3 cars in the wall back there. It looks like the 33 is one of them. I think Stephen Miles might be another. Let's cut back there to the cameras. And the 60 looks like another car involved. Heavy damage. That's the 56 of Connors. There's the first caution, right on cue. .90 laps to go. This definitely makes it a one-stopper from here. Glenn Campbell also looks like maybe he had some damage. We'll have to see. A lot of cars had to scatter. As the time that caution happened, we had some cars. We had Kevin Stone actually come to pit road here. We'll cover the pit stops first, and then we'll come back and show the replay of the wreck. Some smoke back there at turn 4. Was there contact or something, or did somebody grenade one? McMillan in his sugar-free Mountain Dew amp, number 88. Should be 4 tires and fuel for everybody. Kevin Stone gonna take the wave around. Josh Parker actually staying out. So McMillan, Tyler Dalton gonna be second off pit road with DeWeese, Schweikert, Frary, Ryan Gillenwater. It looks like maybe Eric Arnold. The race off pit road. So let's see if we can find what happened here. Let's go back here a little bit. Let's find Stephen Miles. You see the 33. Oh, right there, Miles and Campbell come together. 33. Obviously nowhere to go. Oh, and Campbell's going to get clobbered by the 56 as he comes down the track. While she comes out, let's set a better view here really quickly. Let's go here we go. Because this kind of wreck you can easily see is like a net code. Oh, some contact there. Oh yeah, there's your net code. I was going to say, sometimes in a wreck like this, net code comes in. Now, would they have hit beforehand? You never know. So you see how there's a good couple inches of space between the 44 and 24. And unfortunately for Glenn, he's going to come down the track. There goes Montesi. There's E.J. O'Rourke. And there's the boom, the 56 of Connors. Van Schaik barely getting through there. Parker going to the grass. There's Jatina in the 48 of Terry Lambert making some contact. They get involved. I think, was that Jeff Ryan I just saw spinning over to the inside there? It was. There's Jeff. Alrighty then. Alright, so getting ready to go back racing. First caution. And again, that's been the number. So if we follow the pattern that we've been seeing, this is going to be the only caution of the race. So hopefully you went to the bathroom or got something to drink or whatever you needed. Maybe you called 811 before you go digging, which half the country right now is not going to be digging anything. As we come back to the green flag. To the restart zone there is where they start the race, and McMillan with a good launch on Dalton. Braxton DeWeese right there, third position, going to try to fill that gap on the inside lane. Schweikert there also. How about Tommy Ryan up to the 5th position? Tommy last year talking about a guy that just seems to be good on worn racetracks. That 99 is going to be one to watch this evening. This 5 is also another one to watch. Schweiker trying to fill that little gap. He's thinking about it. Tyler with a good run off the corner there. Let's see if he can hold it off. And he's going to clear for second, it looks like. Deweese going to try to protect for third. And Tyler wants more. He wants that lead. He's going to get it. 19 sends it in there. And Tyler Dalton leading here. Another lead change in this race. Tyler started third, has worked his way up to the front, and has ran the fastest lap of the race right there, 34.71. He's already put about a half second on the field. So Tyler coming alive here. As Tony pointed out there, yeah, Tyler running about a groove up. Yeah, I wouldn't say the Larson line. Obviously, that's a couple groups up, but he's definitely up there. And we saw it late in the run there before that caution. We were getting the Larson line kind of warmed in a little bit by some of the cars. So Deweese trying to move up to second here. Schweikert, or I should say third. Schweikert's going to make the run there to the top here. I was going to say Braxton needs to find a groove and get in it, or get into the top side. As Van Schaik, 14th position here. The SpongeBob paint with E.J. O'Rourke, top side there. Scott Simley in that Exalted number 12. There are side-by-side battles everywhere. Hey, look at Calatoni here. Ooh, Friary. You can't get any closer to that bumper. Arnold making moves to the inside there, trying to take advantage of the 77, kind of slowing up Kelley. Clears position. Here comes Chad Coleman. Friary down on the door of Arnold. And you see that damage on the right front there at 77. That is not a glitch or anything. That's some damage there. So you wonder if that's affecting that car at all. I think something just happened down below us there. Yeah, the 77's out of shape. I was going to say, I think Friary and Arnold came together. And speaking of Wild, Alan Wild with the move there inside the 15. Let's see. happened to Robert here? Oh, das Boot. Arnold had sent it pretty deep into the corner there and into the back of the 77, so you hope no nose damage here. Looked like Eric had committed to send it in there pretty deep. The 77 kind of slides down. And I guess we'll say cooler heads prevailed. Yeah, I'm just going to point out, Aaron Thomas asked about Mojica earlier. I don't know the exact reason he's not here tonight, but I have a guess. He's from Texas. And I think he's a Dallas fan from those I've talked to. I don't know how much further to go with that comment than that right there. Now, obviously, he could have other things going on. He is a family man and stuff like that, so. So back here, Montesi. There's the 43. That is Joe Hudson. Still getting used to being Joe Hudson and not Doug Roth. Jeff Ryan back here, Andrew Teft, amongst others. Appreciate the viewers tonight, man. We have been right there 25 to 30 almost all night. So appreciate you guys who are watching the stream, sticking around. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you're not new, we appreciate you coming back and joining us. I am much grateful. And of course, tomorrow, going to record the second episode of the Scalicast podcast, or at least the first one. You can go check out now on Spotify, also on iHeartMedia, and going to work to get them on other platforms too. I know it's been mentioned about the Google Pods and Apple Podcasts and stuff like that. I'm going to work to get those done here, hopefully by tomorrow. Today was not a planned day. I was hoping, I didn't get much done today, put it like that. So. And sometimes you're going to have those kind of days where you got everything planned out and it doesn't go your way at all. Check out Chad Coleman, the WBD diecast Supra, that 38 car, looking underneath Mike Kelley here. Mike trying to put that top side to work. There's the groove we've been waiting on. Now, one person that was running up front at the beginning of this race, and unfortunately is falling back a little bit here. I'm not sure what has transpired, but Kevin DeBrown was up battling for the lead in that 93 car. I see a 15-second stop, so he didn't spend a lot of time on pit road, but Kevin unfortunately lost a lot of spots. Sitting here in the 23rd position. Along with the sponsorless Josh Parker. Laps complete. As Coleman and Kelley back at it again here. Yeah, if you got a business and you're looking to sponsor somebody, I'd go talk to that 81 car. If you need help getting in contact with them or something, I'll reach out to them and see what I can do for you and get it done. still side by side over here. Arnold looking for somewhere to go. Almost pushing Kelley down into turn one. And now you got Calantoni here too. You have 4 cars under a blanket right here for 10th. And this is why people love Homestead. The fact that you can spread out. You can run whatever lane you want now. Especially with this refresh. And I think the faster pastor said it best. The top groove is the way to go. Eventually. You see Kelley sliding way up there. Eric Arnold's like, I'm going to go to the middle. So Tyler Dalton's still leading by 0.4 of a second. This might be the perfect race for him in this situation. Of course, Tyler finishing second. A pretty good amount of times to Pedro. We're right there in the top 5 with him. And Pedro and I here tonight, you wonder if this is that chance for Tyler to get himself a quick victory. Of course, he got his first 2 Sunday night wins last season. Usually that first one's the toughest one to get. All right, so he's got a break here for a second. Let's see if I can do this. He said I could do it, so we'll pull up our Daytona winner here real quickly and see if he has a second to talk. Mike, you got a copy?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. Are you? How are we feeling after that battle with Chad, man? I'm like, God, he's got to be annoyed.
That's the most fun you can have driving and having a car that's a piece of crap.
Are you the one that said this track should be filled with water?
I blow it up. And I know one of these schedules we're running it twice, and I'm like, well, once is definitely enough. But I don't know. I'd be thrilled if I could finish where I'm at right now. So I'm elbows up and sliding all over the place.
I'm noticing that. Let's not wreck. You got plenty of room there behind you, which is definitely some good news. I was gonna talk to you during the first run, but you had like a gaggle of like 10 cars around you, and I'm like, let me just hold off on talking to him for a second.
Yeah, I'm so terrible. There's no good time. So.
Oh, well, I do my best. But hey, we appreciate the invite. Appreciate the stats you gave us earlier about the racing and stuff. But hopefully one day maybe they'll put karting on here for you.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Oh, I heard sorry. Who hit somebody?
I'm not sure. That might have been Eric Arnold and Anthony Calantoni right there.
Oh, Eric's hit a few people, unfortunately, in this
here
race.
Here comes EJ.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you go. As EJ, yeah, he can be quite aggressive. So we'll let you go. And he if you go to the top side, he might find a way to climb the wall around you.
He might. It's a lot of fun, though. It's a lot of hard work. But thanks for talking to me. And I won't get to talk to you on the podium tonight unless something really bad happens.
Never say never. Never say never. And watch out for Eric. He's in the wall.
Yeah, but this ain't Daytona, so.
All right, man. Good job, bud. Keep it up.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
Mike Kelley, he told me before the race, like, hey, man, you ever want to pull me up? I'm like, all right, let's talk. All right, Tyler Dalton leads, and that doesn't happen often anymore in broadcast, the fact that I can pull somebody up during a green flag run, and especially in a league like this. So Mac McMillan second, John Schweikert third, Braxton DeWeese there at fourth, and he's looking for third. If Braxton can get good enough of a run, I thought they were going to hit each other. The way John got tight there off of 2. And Braxton up to the 3rd position, doing a great job there. Tommy Ryan back there at 5th with them. All right, so we had our caution and lap 27. We came to pit road at 29. Let's just break it down here. 29 from 120. Let's just make it 30, which becomes 90 laps. We break down 90 from 2. That's 45. So we're at 57 right now. which would be 27 laps. So we're about never mind. Caution's out. Forget everything I just said. Kevin Brown has gone around off turn 2. Sorry for the 25 seconds I just wasted of your life trying to do math. 7 times 13 is 28. And the second caution's on the track. And Kevin Brown, who was having a good start to the race, kind of got bad, and now it's really getting bad. Don't see any damage on the 93, so let's roll that beautiful beam footage and see what happened here. Kevin topside here, you wonder if he's going to get loose. There is a bump up there, by the way. Yeah, he's already getting free off the corner. Look out, Gerald. Knocks it down, no damage, nothing, no harm, no foul, other than a loss of position. So you want to race in this series, huh? He was fighting that car all the way from the time he touched the throttle. Hey, you can be. Give it time. Don't ever feel that you're not good enough to race in a series. Anybody who thinks that. All you need to do is run laps. Most of these guys have been sim racing for longer than I have. All right, so pit stops just got completed, and instead of you just seeing the end of it, I figured to just show you the whole thing real quickly while we're under caution here. Now, this is going to be interesting if people did tires here, because this would be the second set of tires going on most of these cars, if not all of them. That's going to give you one set of tires to work with until the end of this race. There you see Joe Hudson rolling through. He's actually going to take the lead of this race, but he did actually not stop. So I wonder if he's going to do the workman move. As Dalton wins the race on pit road, McMillan looks like DeWeese going to be third, with Schweiker and Tommy Ryan your top 5. All right, let's get you reset. We'll get you ready for the restart. Let's step away, though, real quickly and hear from 811 as you're watching Sim500 on the Captain Esports Network.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
I think I've asked this question before, and I'll ask it again from a rate of 1 to scared as heck. How would you feel if a guy just come jumping out of a billboard at you? So we're back here on the Captain Esports Network and racing from the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway, and I'm looking at Nelson Rivera's car, and that thing looks like it raced at Bristol. A lot of damage on that 22. I wonder if that came from that first yellow. But you see up front here, Joe Hudson, as we pass the halfway point, leading this race, and he's going to come to pit road now and get his tires and fuel, and that's going to hand the lead over back to Tyler Dalton. And what's still going to be a one-stopper to the finish, I would think. I mean, you could see somebody trying to strategize here, but I think with the tires, you might try a one-stopper here. It's going to be tough. Yeah, there's one guy we can ask really quickly. The leader. Let's slide Tyler up here to us and hear from the leader of the race and see what he thinks here. Tyler, what do you think, man? Are we done pitting tonight if we don't have any more cautions?
Yeah, if it stays green, I think we're done pitting. It's close on fuel, but we should be able to make it. Just got a cloud, so it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to change the way the track's driving.
Now, how is the track driving? It's definitely different.
It's loose, but drivable.
That's pretty short and sweet. All right, buddy. Appreciate it, man. You're restarting the leader. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Tyler Dalton. Appreciate his time. Tyler, a pretty smart kid. Young man, I should say. He's not a goat. Not a goat as in an animal. Appreciate his time. As we go back to green, think it's a good time for us to turn it up. What do you think? We shall do it. The racing getting very tight up here at the front. Tyler Dalton, McMillan battling for laps there during our segment. And Dalton able to finally clear him. You see the one of Schweikert up to third. And back there, here's Jose Gonzalez. His home track, if you will, for the driver from Puerto Rico. As he tries to hold off Braxton DeWeese for the fourth position right now. Tony, Eric Arnold back here. They made contact a few minutes ago. As you heard us talking to Mike Kelley. He's like, I think these two made contact. And there's Kelley behind him. Arnold's car looking pretty clean for somebody that's made contact with a couple of cars here this evening. Starting to pick up, and now is this is the tough part of the race here, because this is where you got to balance. You have to balance keeping that right front on your car and doing it for nearly 60 laps so you can make it to the finish on fuel, and then also have a tire there to work with. I mean, if you drive this car pretty hard, you could shred that right front tire and not make it all 60 laps to the end of this race. Or if you drive the car too hard, period, you might not make it on fuel. So you heard Tyler talk about, he said you should be good on fuel. Should never means you will be. But I'm curious to see as we get closer to maybe lap 85 to 90, will we see anybody try something different and come to pit road for tires? I would say probably not, only because I think the risk is not working the board when it's over with. I don't know if you can make up all that time in 30 laps. Will you get back to where you pitted from? Maybe. Joe O'Rourke, top side there in that 41. So, I talked about it a second ago. One of the big things about this league that separates it from the others, obviously great talented group of guys that have been around for a very long time when it comes to sim racing. You go back to NR 2003 and into iRacing and stuff like that. Well, one other factor is I bring up the weather. This series is set up where every race, every practice opens up at it's 12 noon at the track. All right, only a couple races, maybe in a season they'll do a night race or whatever. But by doing that, yes, you have the iRacing default weather. So it's 79 degrees, partly cloudy skies, 43% humidity, all that's usual stuff, right? It's this number on the far right side over here, this 130. This is the track temp right now. So this track is slick right now. So the one thing that Sim 500 likes to do is put this in the driver's hands. You guys got to go out here and wheel the car. And that's a lot of these new guys coming into this league, or even, you know, the veterans, they know every time they go to a track like Homestead, it's different. And when 120 laps is done, you feel like you've run 500 miles at Homestead. You heard Mike Kelley saying, I'm ready to be done already, and that was halfway into the race. So biggest movers in this race tonight, Josh Parker, per usual, starts in the back all the time on purpose. He likes to practice passing these cars, and he's up 19 positions to the 14th position after starting 36th. You got Randy Oakham up 17 spots to 18th. Charles Van Schaik up 15 to 16th. E.J. O'Rourke up to 11th, gain of 17 spots there. Tommy Ryan up to 6th after starting 16th. We have 3 cars officially out of the race: Glenn Campbell, Josh Connors, Joey Jatina. Nelson Rivera 12 laps down. Kevin Stone, Terry Lambert are 3 or 4 laps down in the end, and it looks like Brent Scott, the other car, lap down, because he's the only one that looks like in the 1 lap down category. We're 74 laps in this race, as somebody cut the wall back there. Battles here for you. See Arnold and Kelley, and there's his teammate, Kelley's teammate Scott Simley, with Randy Oakham back here in the 811 car. And that 59 car, Trevor Hunt, you can call him maybe a development driver, if you will, for the unacceptable racing bunch with Tommy Ryan and those guys. Trevor having a clean race right now, 19th position. O'Rourke still trying to work his way around Calantoni. We have slide job. Apparently, because Calantoni crossed him over. O'Rourke should be able to clear him here after that move. Battle of Jersey, and I believe EJ's up at that northeastern area around Boston, I think, somewhere in that region. I could be wrong by that. Parker with a good run on Calantoni back there. I'll say, EJ, don't do it to me. You better stay up here at the top. About a half groove off the wall. EJ has his fair share of wins in the series. Also has his fair share of bad luck in rough races. EJ having a good run in the 10th position right now. As we come up to 80 laps complete, 40 to go, 1.2 second lead for Tyler Dalton over Mac McMillan. John Schweikert is third. Braxton DeWeese having a great run in his second start. Jose Gonzalez now top 5. Let's jump back here, 19th. Trevor Hutton at 59. There's the 6 of Montesi. He's looking to get rid of the Daytona memory he has from last week, where he was involved in that first wreck and car was totaled pretty much at that point. There's Charles Van Schaik there behind him in the 23 car. Charles, the owner of Goat Racing, which, by the way, is a partner of Sim500. If you're looking for a league to run in, Goat's another one you could check out. Of course, with the Cup Series getting ready to kick off on February the 4th with qualifying for the Daytona 500K. You have Goat Racing that usually has a Cup Series on Thursday nights that matches up the schedules, at least that's what they did last season, with Sim500's Cup Series. So if you're wanting to get the experience of racing a Cup car with some of these guys, and not all of them, but some of them, and get to learning some of these tracks and stuff like that with the Cup car, I would suggest maybe Thursday nights go sign up for the GOAT Series, and they're actually there at the Sim500 website, sim500.com. They literally mirror the whole entire series. They run same car, same setup, same race status, same laps. I believe same laps, actually. I think the laps might be different with stage racing. That might be the difference. Otherwise, everything else is a complete match of the Cup Series you will see on Monday nights here on the Captain Esports Network. So it's a good series to kind of get maybe a step ahead, if you will, for the season coming up. Dalton coming up on some lap cars. The 04 of Doug Sigmund there in 31st, going and put another lap on Nelson Rivera. There's the 60 car, Karlovage. Here we go with the aggressiveness. Two of the more aggressive drivers in the series. As E.J. O'Rourke and the 31 of Eric Arnold. The 11th place battle. I'm watching a couple battles out here on track right now. Let's actually check on two back here. Stephen Miles involved in that first caution. Alan Wild in that 15 car. The 51, that is Matthew Martell. Talked to Steven a little bit. Of course, he is a part of the podcast with me in the Scalicast, and him and I talked this week about this series. This is his second start ever. He's sat here and watched all the races on the Captain Esports Network, and he's one that literally studies and will get out there and run laps in practice. And he said that his goal this season was to stay out of trouble and get to know these guys, and basically go out there and earn respect, basically, so to say. Get out there, just race, let people know he's a clean racer and stuff like that. And unfortunately, a little rough. He was involved in a huge wreck at the end of the Daytona race, and he was involved in that first dust-up with Glenn Campbell, which was more of a netcode situation than anything. But unfortunate there. But Steven, 22nd position. You see Kevin DeBrown is back up to 21st there as he tries to get around SpongeBob Van Schaik. We start to see those cars migrate to the top. I've tried it a couple times. Let's see if we can get somebody up on the boards here. Hey, still, yeah, Trevor's about a half groove off. Oh, that was close. All right, coming up to 30 laps to go. Let's step away real quickly and hear from 811 as you're watching the Captain Esports Network in Sim500.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have X-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, back we are here at Virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway. 30 laps to go as we look down from the blimp view. You see Braxton Deweese actually got by Schweikert a few minutes ago for the 3rd position. Up ahead there, and you see Schweikert trying to hold off Gonzalez. Tommy Ryan just kind of hovering there. One of the nicer tracks that I've had a chance to go to numerous times for championship races when I was living in Florida. One of the rare tracks I could say I was going to the bathroom and I could watch the race on TV doing it. Not sure if they still have that technology there, but hey, you never know. That one car is pretty close to the outside wall. You got to go where the grip is. Get these tires just worn out. We start to work our way in one of the longer runs that we've had. There we go. When you can get that right rear sitting in the little bit of the shadow of the wall, you're doing something right. Gonzalez sporting that trans service paint on that 26 car now with the smash burgers. Oh! That might have been netcode right there. Big netcode. Knocked Gonzalez down the track. They weren't even close to each other. Speedy Gonzalez not going to be happy about that. And I mean, literally, it's on the right side door of his car. There's Gonzalez right there on the door. One of my favorite cartoons growing up. So that's going to knock Jose back to the 7th position. There's Coleman and Arnold back here battling. Here's 16. Oh, another. Look out for Scott Simley into the bottom. As these tires wear out, you get cars that just unfortunately fall behind in their steering. That's what causes the wheel spin, and then they head for the infield and have to go catch it. Parker making moves. We talked about Josh working up through the field. Here he comes. Parker knowing how to make moves up to the 4th position. DC 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and there's Parker in 4th. There's the 1. 99 to Tommy Ryan right there. 24 laps to go. And yes, I've mentioned it. Look at 3 wide back here. Simley, and then there's Mike Kelley, who now is missing a rear end. Problem is, if there's damage on the rear of a car, there's normally damage on the front end of a car. Mike and Mike, Montesi and Kelley. Sarcastically, I say best friends. They've had their moments on track, is where I'm going with that. Don't see anything yet. And Mike Kelley's actually brought the car to pit road. The 2 cars in, the Daytona winner. Let's move up a lap here and see. Trying to find where the issue potentially happens here. There's Simley. There's Miles. So it's going to happen right here. Okay, you're starting to see the comers and goers in this race. Kelley gets loose there. Oh, right there, Miles and Kelley made contact. And that's where the incident almost happened. And Tommy Ryan is on pit road. So we've got some cars coming to pit road here. I mentioned right at lap 90. This is actually lap 100. Interesting call from some of these cars. Was Tyler Dalton being honest with me? I don't blame him if he wasn't. Tommy is still sitting there. Did he speed on pit road or does he have damage? So issues for the 99 all of a sudden. Let's see if I can find out what happened there. You know what? I might have some evidence here. Let's see. Oh, right there. Tommy's in the wall. Yep. My friends watching on the stream, don't ask how I'm finding this stuff because sometimes it's harder than it looks. Yeah, Tommy just caught the wall there, and I wonder if it me-balled him or whatever. All right, so there's your leader, Tyler Dalton. That's the wrong button, Scala. Tyler, 1.6 seconds over Mac McMillan. Braxton DeWeese is third, about 0.3 back. And Gonzalez is recovered. Back up to 6 now as he wants to get in the top 5 again. Lap times have fallen off almost 2 to 3 seconds. They're running lap times almost. I mean, they're just like a second or two off to laps at Michigan. There, Speedy. Hey, these two are the ones that hit earlier, by the way, so we got to be careful here. Bob Gillenwater having a nice quiet run there in that 4 car. Looks like John just maybe a little bit tight, a little hesitant to get back to the throttle through 3 and 4. Allows Jose to get the run off the bottom, but you're just able to carry the momentum off that 20 degrees of banking on the top side. Yeah, you can see here, John struggling on throttle coming through the center of the corner there. Great battle here. And tell you what, look at this fight now for second. You saw Mike Kelley there make an appearance there in that battle. He's going to squeeze his way through with those fresh tires. But Braxton DeWeese has caught the 88 for second, and here comes Parker. Tyler Dalton might be running for his life right now, 2.3 seconds. I mean, the one thing that's going to help here is Parker having to get around both of these guys as DeWeese right to the white line. Kind of clipped it a little bit there. I think it's what helped him slide up the track slightly. This has got to be so tense right here. You got 14 laps to go. If you're Braxton, you're trying to make a move to get past McMillan, but yet right behind you, you've got a car trying to pass you. So you can't focus straight ahead. You've got to almost race with offense, but us at the same time be defensive here, because here comes Parker now. He's going to have a run off the top side. Does Braxton have a spotter for the fan club out there watching? Braxton actually could slide up right here. He's clear of the 88. He's got him. So I'm not sure if Mack yielded the spot or if it's just struggling tight off or tight center like a few of these cars are, but the 81's going to go by. Here comes Kelley with the fresh tires. He does not. Okay, thanks, Chris. So that's really got to be tough for Braxton, because I asked that question because, you know, having a live spotter is so different than having, you know, if it's iRacing or if it's the crew chief app or whatever you use to talk to you with communication and who's around you and stuff. But you get so much more out of a live spotter, especially in that situation there, to kind of say, hey, the 81's top side when you got the 88 beside you. Braxton definitely showing his speed here, though, in that 5 car, and trying to hold off a very hungry Josh Parker. Well, the one thing they're getting loose off. The one thing I am starting to see these cars do, if you watch the lanes really quickly here, the 5 and the 81, they get into the corner here. They're painting the white line, but watch their exits. Almost like a short track move here, where they're literally rolling the white line as long as they can, and then driving the car straight off instead of letting the car slide to the top part of the track, which normally is what you do at Homestead. Usually you want to let the car drift up to the wall. In this case, they're actually almost keeping the car as low as they can, coming off the corner and driving straight off. You see that a lot at like a Richmond or a Martinsville. Look at that right there. It's a good example of it. These tires are, should I say, baked? Is that a good way to put it? And Josh is trying to get a little bit of a run here. Gets his nose on the air a little bit there. That'll help him. Of course, Braxton with the aero block there in the center off. This is the best battle on track right now. We do got another battle back at Stephen Miles, who has all of a sudden climbed up to the 14th position. So he's gained a lot of spots here in this last run of the race. So good job on his part. We'll actually talk about this race, I should mention, When we do this podcast, the Scalicast coming up this week, you'll hear us talk about this race and what all transpired, and you'll get Miles's description of what he went through and what he saw in the race. So if you've not checked out the race, the podcast yet, you'll even get Miles's talk about the Daytona race last week. You can check it out on Spotify right now, also on iHeartMedia, and it's actually on the YouTube page here. Go click on it and watch it. There's no video or anything, but you can listen at least. Episode 2 will get recorded tomorrow and hopefully launched a little bit earlier than last week. So 7 laps to go as this has calmed down for a split second. Let's jump back here. That's O'Rourke and Coleman. And the lap car of Sigmund. This is at 10th. Dalton has driven away 3.2 seconds as he works his way towards an early season victory here at Homestead. Tyler coming off a rough race at Daytona last week, finishing 36th after starting second. Of course, won at Pocono in August of last season, and also at Iowa in June. Of course, Iowa was that first win. He dominated that race, leading 133 of 160. Pocono, he led half of the 70 laps, or just shy of half. And tonight, looking to put another dominating victory together. Let's go back here because here comes Randy Yoakum. There's Miles. There's Calantoni. As this two-car battle has become 5 as Miles 3 wide with Calantoni. These two got together at Daytona at the end of the race there. You remember Calantoni gets knocked down to the apron. Miles felt bad he did that, and he said he gave him the bottom to get back on the track, and he knew at that point he was going to get roasted in that wreck. 4 to go. Yoakum put some afterburners on those tires as O'Rourke shuts the door on Randy. That's not going to help things. Randy not going to be happy about that. Three laps to go. Got that battle here. Gillenwater now inside of Gonzalez for 5th. Bob's going to clear, so let's jump back here to this. Oh, 2 Georgia boys on the inside there. And Miles using those tires. He's learned something out here. It moves up to the 10th position. As up front, still 3.7 now, so Tyler's just driven away, boys. He said, y'all could fight for the rest. I've got this. As they continue to battle back here. Boy, the 84 fighting it. Tyler going to try to get to the white flag, and he will this time by final lap. As he's going to let the lap car of Alan Wild go by. Yoakum did recover and has got back past O'Rourke and now looking to get past Calantoni. Calantoni holding him down. Final lap, you got to do what you got to do. Tyler Dalton going to get the win at Homestead and score his 3rd series victory and first of the season. DeWeese going to get second, Parker third. And Yoakum turning it sideways there. Something I've been trying to do a little bit different this season is getting a driver up here really quickly as he celebrates his win. Tyler, got to be pretty excited, man, to get a victory this early.
Yeah, I kept waiting for the caution, and I'm glad it never came there. Got in some clean air and was able to just sort of take off.
Well, talk about the racing out there, because it definitely was interesting. I know you led a lot of the laps, and obviously having that clean air helped you a ton. But you had to fight a little bit, especially on the restarts.
Yeah, I saw how important the clean air was in the beginning. So on that one restart, I went up there and fought hard to get the lead, and that made a big difference as far as just the way the car felt.
So how's it feel, man? You get those first two wins, Iowa and Pocono last season. Now you come to Homestead here and get yourself a win.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite tracks, so I always enjoy coming here. I didn't know what to expect with that dynamic track model. Had to run a little bit different line than I normally run here, but still able to search around some when I needed to. But yeah, getting the clean air and then being able to, I guess, stop people from getting to your outside there and pinch you down was really important.
Talk about the, you mentioned the track state, obviously. I remember this race. I remember the two cup races last season. I mean, it was literally everybody get down in that little strip between the white line and the first groove, basically, and you stay there and you don't leave it. And obviously that changed a lot.
Yeah, that's where I normally like to run here, and there was still some grip down there, but I felt maybe there was a little bit more grip that on that first seam, just sort of putting the left front tire right below that bottom seam. But track got really hot at one point. I think it was 141. So basically they were towards the end, about like a top fuel dragster coming off turn 4, just trying to get back in the gas down the straightaway.
Light it up. Well, great job, man. Congratulations, and send some shout outs whoever you like to.
Yeah, I want to thank SE 811. I know NT 811 is a good sponsor of the series. Nice to get a win with them on the hood. I want to thank all the guys from the Sim500 Mafia. I want to thank all the drivers for keeping it clean there at the end, because I really didn't want a caution. Thank you for putting on the broadcast, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. You might want to ask Cal and Tony before you leave about his last lap on the backstretch and how he almost brought the yellow out for you.
All right, 10-4.
All right, buddy. Good job, man. Tyler Dalton winning. You heard it mentioned the SC811. That's C. South Carolina bunch for 811. They've also, I believe, jumped on board here as part of the group of the Safe Digging Sports. You can follow them on Facebook. Make sure you check all them out. And hello, if you are watching, and to the crew of 811, appreciate you, as Tyler's going to continue to celebrate his win. You know, Tyler's one that he studies a lot too. I mean, I can usually go to him and ask him questions that not a lot of people would know, and he could sit there and explain it to me to where I can understand it and that kind of thing. And you heard him mention that he likes to put that car down on that white line, which is something you don't see at Homestead in real life and much. But with this dynamic, it changed it up a little bit. But if you go watch a couple of the cup races from last season here at Homestead in the on-demands, and you'll see where all the cars before the update came out were literally painting the white line here at this track. All right, hardest mover, hard charger, whatever you want to call him. That's Josh Parker, finishes in the third position. Josh, man, what was the difference in that last run? Was it more of just kind of being more aggressive for you? Because it seemed like for a little bit, you were kind of stuck there in that 15th to 20th, and you were trying to work your way up and slowly able to, but it seemed like later in the race, it was like the car took off and you were able to go.
Well, I think I was trying to save a lot of tire.
Okay.
When it was starting to matter is when those two yellows fell. So it was working. Just like I said, it just unfortunately the yellows fell when the tires were going to make a difference. And then the last run, I saved a little bit less, and kind of went forward a little bit to try to run Tyler down. But the track position ended up playing a bigger factor.
That was good. That's exactly kind of what I was thinking a little bit there. Maybe it was just the way the laps were working itself out. But I do want to ask, how tough was it out there passing?
I didn't think it was too bad. It was tough letting a lot of people pass me to start because saving tires, it made it very easy to pass. I can only get the bottom to work, so I was running along the bottom the whole time, and um, honestly, it wasn't too bad because it seems like if you saved enough tire, you were gonna be able to have enough drive off. So, um, if you burned your tires up, it was definitely gonna be a little bit hectic to pass.
You and Braxton put on a pretty good battle there for a second before he kind of pulled away a little bit there at the end. But was it just the matter of not being able to get the bottom on him?
It was a little bit of both. I was trying to figure out who the hell he was.
That'll
To be
happen
honest.
sometimes.
Yeah, so I was kind of for like 10, 15 laps, I'm thinking to myself like, I think I have like ADD, so let's put that out there. So like I get bored of things quickly, and I was behind him, and I was like, man, this kid's giving me trouble, and I was like, wait, who the hell is this? And then for about 10, 15 laps, I was trying to think of who this was, and I tried going to the top, and it was just too slow. So the bottom was, like I said, track position. I think, I mean, he was quick. It was just, I think whoever was in front of who. I think if I was able to get in front of him, I might have had a chance to run down Tyler, but it was just, I could just pull up to him. I couldn't get enough air to the nose
Right.
to keep the run off the turn, and that's where it just killed me. And like I said, I tried going high, and that didn't work. But yeah, for half the time, I was just trying to figure out who it was.
Which I guess that'll happen sometimes, but obviously good bounce back for you. I see you finished, was it 26th in Daytona? So obviously good bounce back for you tonight.
Yeah, Daytona sucks for me. I think I got wrecked in the trucks and Xfinity last week, so to be expected. But yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I was running good here, so it was definitely a good bounce back from last week.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, great job tonight. Congratulations. And actually, think about it. Did you win the Cup race here last season?
I absolutely annihilated the playoff.
I
race
thought
here.
so. I was like, wait a
Yeah.
minute. That just popped in my head. I'm like, wait a minute. Josh won here in the Cup car. Yeah,
Yeah,
you definitely
absolutely
put a working on
annihilated
him. You definitely put a working on him. Obviously, a little different with the one groove, huh?
Yeah, there was the groove was the same, so I think that's why
Interesting.
it took a lot longer for it to be a factor. But I ran the same line I ran in the Cup race, and I was like, oh, this is working. This is nice. I'm onto something.
Which is interesting because you saw cars go up to the middle and to the top and almost make it work later in the run, and
I
especially a
don't
couple.
think they know what they were doing.
Oh well, none of us
Yeah,
do really.
I think they're just driving around. It was there's a groove on the bottom. Well, I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, keep your secrets, man. Don't.
Yeah, yeah. I think I mean it's challenging because it is faster.
Right.
To run up there, but with the tires, these things, if you get them so hot for like a lap or two, that's it. So it's like it's not worth it. But it is, you can use it to try to pass, but it's tough to do so.
Yeah, I should point out this is a championship race next this season.
Yeah, so I definitely
keep your secrets. Great job. That's all good, man. Send some shout outs.
You guys for doing you solo for doing the broadcast. Everyone at Sim500, team name, Chad, Beasley, everybody.
I noticed the Beasley thing there. Yeah, there's no Beasley tonight.
No, not tonight.
Great job, man.
I'll see you.
Each way. Josh Parker finishing in the third position here this evening, and it's interesting to hear that he felt the groove didn't open up. I mean, yeah, you saw cars up there, and maybe it's a thing that, like a lot of us iRacers, we don't know what the heck we're doing out here. Some made it work, some didn't. I mean, you saw some passes there in the middle groove, especially on restarts. But no, Josh did a great job, and credit to him and credit to Braxton, as he said he spent 15 minutes trying to figure out who in the world Braxton was. That might be the funniest comment I've heard yet. And that's part of the more what's the word I'm looking for here? The more underrated thing about a league like this, and I talk about this with other leagues. It's when you get a new set of drivers in here with drivers who are used to being here, people don't know each other. So you get Braxton, who runs second tonight, and you get McMillan, not sure how much people know him, to get up there in the top five, and all of a sudden these guys are coming in here racing, then it becomes interesting. So great job on Josh's part. If Braxton is here, I don't know if he's got access to Discord, but love to have a word with him. I mean, I only bite on the weekends. Oh, wait, it's the weekend, isn't it? But I'll wait here a second and see if we get Braxton to turn up before we head out here and get ready for the third race of the season coming up next week, which I believe is Auto Club Speedway. So we'll have a little tribute race to Auto Club, and now what's left of it. 100 laps of racing next week, and in Las Vegas on the 28th. And then the final race before the big game, we'll take that Sunday night off, obviously, on the 11th. But the Legacy Phoenix Raceway, so the old Phoenix, and I mean the old Phoenix. So that's going to be interesting to see, because that's obviously got the different dog leg on the back stretch. And should be a fun race to prepare for here in the next 4 weeks before we, again, take that week off for the big game coming up on February the 11th. Thank you, Chris, as we talked to Braxton's PR guys to get him in here to talk to us, and now he joins us. Braxton, man, what a run. Congratulations. Obviously, second race here, and you get yourself a top 5. You had drivers behind you wondering who in the world you are, and I think you told them. Uh-oh. Braxton, you there, bud? Somebody pull Braxton. Yeah, there he is. I was say somebody pull his cord.
Yep, there we go.
There we
It's
go.
Plugged back in.
Nice, nice.
Yep, I'm happy with the second place finish from starting in 7th, but Tyler had a good race there, and getting to the clean air was pretty key there. Mac had the clean air at the beginning, and he had about a second half lead, and we couldn't really get to him. We were maybe catching maybe a 10th or whatnot here and there, closer there at the end of the runs, and same with Dalton at the end of one of them runs as well, Tyler Dalton, and we just couldn't really get it. I couldn't get it done to get to the clean air. I wanted to try to save my tires and my right front as much as I could to try to be there at the end, but it is what it is, and glad we could hold on to second there. And I can't remember who was charging there, but they were charging pretty good on the bottom, and I kind of just moved to the bottom, ran the line they were running, and he didn't really move around any. It was kind of hard to pass, surprisingly. I thought it would have been, easier to be able to move around and whatnot, but I just think just how hot the track was, and the way the setup was with the track, it just didn't really work out too much in that favor. But you could get a run here and there, and I tried it a couple of times. It just didn't really work out for the long run if I kept running it. But like I said, I'm happy with second place. Just happy to be here, and hopefully we can keep it up.
Absolutely, man. Had to be a fun race there to work your way up to second, like you said. What's the biggest thing you've learned so far here? I mean, I know you've only had the one race now on a 1.5 mile track. I mean, if you take out the Daytona race, but even being around these guys at Daytona, what are some of the things you've already kind of learned and kind of figured out?
Well, one thing is we actually get some green flag runs in, which is pretty good. We had like 30 lap or around that. So usually it's just a couple laps caution, couple lap caution. Maybe you get 15 and then there's a caution. So, I'm really happy with the group of guys of being able to race a little bit more with each other. And, you got to be on your A game, just like any other league that I've been in. You always got to be on top of it with your strategy. You're coming on pit road, coming off, make sure you're not speeding. The little things, you got to perfect the little things before you can, go worry about the other things. So, that's what we're going to try to do. And we're going to move on next week, and hopefully we can make just one spot better. But, we got a couple guys that are a little bit better than us for these couple races. So, like I said, we just need to go and practice a little bit, and we'll see what we can do.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, great job. And I see you got yourself a little fan club there as they come to cheer you on, and send some shouts whoever you like to.
Yeah, for sure. Big shout out to the sponsor in the car, Booth 34 Diecast. He's in the Antique Mall down there in downtown Mooresville. So if anybody is down in the Mooresville area or Charlotte area for any NASCAR related stuff, or just down there in general and likes diecast or just NASCAR memorabilia, go check him out there in that Antique Mall at the Booth 34 Diecast. He's in Booth 34, obviously, according to his name. So that helps out a little bit. That helps out a little bit with him directing you. So I also want to give a big shout out to Interstate Ford, Bennett's Publical, Jane's on Main, Allen's Arts Images, Unrivaled Cinematography, Blaze Designs, and like you said, everybody that's in the chat that cheers me on. We're getting the racing back going again. I believe I said that in one of the other leagues. We're getting it going again with just the race season in general starting back up. So, iRacing has their league starting back up as well. So, looking forward to that, and happy with tonight and happy to be here, like I said. And we'll move on next week, and hopefully we'll be in first place talking to you in the victory lane.
Sounds good. Where do you race at in real life?
I wish I raced that in real life.
Oh, that's
I try to stay busy on iRacing. I got this league obviously on Sunday. I got a couple on Monday, Tuesday. I'm running one on Wednesday and potentially here on Thursday. So we try to keep ourselves busy. I have some sponsors here in the local area, so this is the best I can do with the money that I have. With racing is super expensive. It's one of the most expensive sports. So I just try to make the sponsors happy around here, and hopefully if we get a car and whatnot, we can try to get them local sponsors on, and that's what I just try to do. Try to make everybody happy. Do what I need to do, and try to help others. So we'll try to run all them races and see how we do.
That's all you can do. No, I just misunderstood you. I thought you were saying you were getting ready for racing or something, maybe real life. So figure it out.
I wish I was.
I heard that, man.
A lot of people. I talk to people about the racing, and a lot of people actually think that it's real just the way it looks. So
oh, absolutely.
That's kind of cool that people think you're actually racing in real life. I wish I could tell them that I was, but we'll get there at some point.
You technically are. I mean, you've got a wheel and you're just at home.
Yep, we're halfway there. We just need to be moving that speed.
Right. Great job, man, and congratulations. Let's talk next week at Auto Club.
Yes, sir. You got it. You have a good one.
You too, buddy. Braxton Deweese, second place finish for him. Big shout out to his sponsors and stuff. And I was just actually doing some research real quickly after Braxton made the comment of the green flag racing that you see here in this series. Of course, tonight we had 2 cautions. So on the Sim Racer Hub website, which is where Sim500 keeps all their stats at, you go all the way back to the 2018 season. So you're going back a good 7 years or 6 years. Carried one, something like that. And when it comes to this specific track of Homestead in this series, there has been no race that has had more than 5 cautions. And those 5 cautions, oh, by the way, were in the 2020 season and in the 2018 season. So when it comes to 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, there have been no more than 2 cautions in a race. And that was tonight and in 2021. 2 cautions apiece at Homestead. So these guys definitely have this figured out at this racetrack. So obviously looking forward to more. Again, next week it is the Auto Club Speedway for race number 3. And let's look back really quickly here at the Homestead race last season. That was won by Pedro Mojica. That race had 0 cautions. So that should tell you what's coming up next week in this race, as that was actually Lewandowski who dominated that race, and Pedro, I believe if I remember correctly, took advantage of a pit stop in the end that got him past Lewandowski, if I remember. So we shall see. 200 miles at Michigan, or at Auto Club, coming up next week here on the Captain Esports Network. So looking forward to seeing that. Again, podcast tomorrow. We'll get that recorded and get it released this week, so look for it. And I will work with getting set up on the Apple Podcast and Google Podcasts and stuff as I continue to get all this figured out slowly but surely. But as for now, let's head out. Enjoy the rest of...
Copyrighted broadcast.
Wrong line. Hey, Casey, hold on a second, guy. That's my wording guy at the end. Yeah, let's head out and enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. And remember, this isn't just a game, it's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.